Hi, Cindy Cross here from the Post and Rail, and I'm going to show you how to make salted caramel. 3-4 ingredients if you count water. Very easy to do and absolutely delicious. So what you need is a pan on high. Very rare I have pans on low. Everything's on high for me. 1 cup of sugar. Now I'm measuring this for your benefit. I'll generally just pour some sugar in and put enough water in on top of it so that the sugar takes up the water, and I'll show you what I mean. Very carefully measured for a change. Alright, so my pan is on. I want just enough water. See, it's probably half a cup of water. I struggle to measure these things, mainly because it's a method more than a recipe. So what I've got in there is the sugar is now in enough water that it can dissolve. That's all it's there for, really. Because if the sugar was in on its own, it would actually start to caramelize quicker and burn before everything dissolved at once. So by adding that water, we've just given ourselves a little bit of a little bit of a leeway for getting it correct. Now what I'm doing now is just going to bubble and boil that away. Now I'm not going to stir it, but I'm going to swirl it until the sugar's melted, and I want it to be the colour of burnish pastry. And burnish is like a dark tan colour, not black. And there's a few times I've walked away just at the wrong time and it's ended up black and it stinks out the house. So what I'm going for is burnish, and then all I'm going to add to it while it's at that stage is some cream. And that's when we get to see some theatre. I want you right in where this action is. Now, this is bubbling away. The water essentially is what is bubbling away and going to leave just the sugar. It's going to thicken and then it's going to change colour. Now, it'll change colour in the hottest spot first, so what I'll do is just swirl the pan a couple of times, all right? So I won't leave my face in front of this boiling hot liquid lava here. I'll just come back in when it's actually a colour. Okay guys, you can tell that we are close. Okay, you can see this little darker spot in the middle, so I'm just going to give it a swirl, make sure it distributes evenly throughout the mix, and we're really close. So what I've got here, so it's 1 cup of sugar and I've got a cup of cream. Now wait till you see this fireworks. But I want to show you the colour that I want it to go first. And there's a fine line between burnt and no taste. So it's a bit of a method. You can always have it under and then keep taking it further with the cream, but you can't come back from burnt. Carbon is not as attractive. All right, my nose and eyes are telling me that this is the right colour. It's nearly burgundy. So what I'm going to do, add the cup of cream. Listen to that fireworks. Look at that. That's not smoke, that's just steam. That instantly cooks the cream and preserves it, by the way, because we're talking about something that is more than 100 degrees, because sugar goes further than 100. It's not water. So I'm waiting for it to kind of take it up, become molten and delicious. And I know it's taking it. I'm just going to take it off the heat for a second so I can see what the colour is. Now I've got some Murray River pink salt here. Now if it's only a few ingredients in your dish, you want to make sure they're the best of the best. And I love this Murray River pink salt. So I'm going to put 1 pinch, 2 pinches. This is quite a mild salt anyway. This is not the time for sacks of salt, people. All right, so now you can tell it's become liquid again. This is the colour that it's going to be at the end. Okay, no, I don't mind that. But I did notice, and I don't like to waste, that not all of the cream came out in that theatrical addition before. So this is why pot size is very important. So I'm just going to allow that. Still no stirring, it's not necessary. You could put a whisk in now, just not when the sugar is dissolving. Look at that colour. Now, if you hadn't waited to that burgundy moment to add the cream and this mix looked pale and like a pale caramel colour, you can always boil it now and take it a bit further. But once again, there's no coming back from carbon, from charcoal. So it's always better to go a little bit light on until you get the hang of when it needs to be. So I can turn that heat off now. Good thing about this is because it's cooked the cream, this is completely sterilized, like such a high heat. It's basically UHT'd it really, if you think about it. It's gone for such a high heat now that this can actually sit on the bench top, so non-refrigerated, for 2 weeks before you even have to think about it. And it gives it a good consistency if you're going to drizzle it over something. So basically sugar, water, cream, and a pinch of salt. Yeah, but it's what you do with it. Okay, so I've let the caramel cool long enough that I can actually pour it into this squeezy bottle. And this just makes it easier and cleaner to stick on the bench, and you just squeeze some out when you want some. So we'll just have a look at the texture of it as it's pouring in. Oh, yeah. I like the spatula because I don't want to waste any. Plus, I may intend on licking it when we're done. Possibly. Beautiful. Look at that. Now, I used to use this to top the brownie, decorate, go on ice cream. Whip that with some icing sugar and you've got salted caramel buttercream. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. That's all gone. Beauty. Oh my goodness. So good and so bad at the same time.